clearly these numbers from February are not in like, checking the box on signs of stabilization in the labor market, right? We're losing jobs, the unemployment rate ticked up. This is not a good sign. This actually sits pretty consistently, especially if you look at the last 3 months, with what we saw all of last year. The US economy last year created almost no jobs on net, right? And at the same time, consumer spending increased, business investment increased, GDP rose for the year on trend, right? We can talk about concentration, we can talk about what sectors it's in, but we have already been for a year in a jobless expansion. So unfortunately, what the February data, what this latest labor market data suggests is that's still where we're at, right? And we had been looking for signs that hiring was picking up. And, the January employment report gave some signs of that.
Yep.
January still is a really strong number, even with down revisions. It's close to 130,000 still. But I mean, clearly to lose 90,000 jobs on net in February is a real problem.
Claudia,
we're not creating jobs.
Yep.
It's that question of, is it a problem? That's a whole separate, and this has been a really difficult conversation to have, but we've been in this for well over a year now.
So Claudia, what do we know about the supply of labor? We know that this administration has effectively closed down the border, reducing supply of labor to some industries, whether it be housing, construction, agricultural, hospitality. What do we know with a year's worth of data here as to the supply of labor?
Well, the estimates with immigration come in. It takes some time. We have, updated estimates from the Census Bureau. We have updated estimates from Congressional Budget Office. They're pulling in a lot of different pieces of data. These are still in flux, but it is very clear directionally, and it's also very clear in terms of magnitudes. These are large downshifts in immigration, and immigrants have been kind of on the margin additional workers in recent years. So it does, directionally, this makes sense. And I think that is important to keep in context. These shifts in job creation, going from, hundreds of thousands of jobs created on net not that long ago to not creating any, and if maybe even destroying jobs on net in the US economy, that is a dramatic shift. And the unemployment rate has drifted up.
Yep.
Right, we're at 4.4%. Yeah. So, we have to keep the magnitudes and the drama on the payroll side. It's not just about weakening demand. It is this supply, and that's a policy choice. But keep an eye on the unemployment rate has drifted up, and there is still a problem. This is not just about supply. We don't have enough demand for workers.
I mean, Claudia, to your point on a flat economy, I just did a 3-month moving average, folks, in the back of my HP 12C.
Oh yeah.
And the bottom line here is we've generated 5,660 jobs over the last 90 days per month. I mean, I've never seen it. That's like a flat economy. I have Claudia quickly here. I mean, there's a lot of negative statistics, Claudia. What does the Fed do with this information if labor matters?
So they're watching all of this very carefully. I think the unemployment rate really does sum a lot of this up. The fact that, the unemployment rate did tick up. We're still at low levels, but it has been drifting up gradually. They're going to keep, this returns some attention to the downside risks to employment, right? This is all about the employment risk, the inflation risk. Today brought some of those employment risks back into focus, but this is still largely a labor market that looks like it's working relatively well. Not a recessionary dynamic, but a very unusual dynamic.
Okay, it's unusual, but I mean, there's a lot of people flat on their back in this country, Claudia, saying cut interest rates. If Waller and Company, Goolsbee and Company, Hassett and Company, if they cut interest rates, does that help the labor economy, or is it now removed?
Cutting interest rates is a way to stimulate demand, whether that's, consumers going out, making bigger purchases. They have to take out, on their credit cards, buying a home, businesses making an investment in equipment, software. It's a channel that can help. It is not all powerful. It's a very blunt tool. But, that's the tool the Fed's got. And it is very clear from this Powell Fed, they will defend the labor market if they need to.